Hello, hello, hello. Sorry I'm running a few minutes late. I was playing around with a quick little title card here, trying to mix things up a bit. Uh, that looks a little brown on my other screen, so kind of what I was going for. A little rough on the insert of my image there, but uh, topic will be world building tonight, and I'm sure some people are wondering what's going on with the card game. Well, great news on the card game. I have nearly all of the first iteration of the design concept of every art piece. I have uh, one type of card that will have some variation in the actual card, and so that art is basically done. Just the variations need to be completed, and then one other card and all the initial design art for each card will be done, and then the next stage will be the final art. So it's not even the 15th of the month yet, which would be halfway through September, so maybe by the 15th, because my artist is taking weekends off for a balanced life, so that's perfect. So excellent news. My plan is to work on plugging all the design art into my card template and last minute tweaks, and when I get all the pieces, I'm going to order a test print deck to have something to show for Kickstarter, which I'm even more convinced I'll be launching October 1st and running it through the end of October with delivery November or as soon thereafter as mail service and printers can cooperate to get it out to us. So excellent news. Very pleased about that. So coming soon, a Kickstarter. So I need to be finalizing the elements that will be on the Kickstarter page. I'm trying to figure out how to do video. Resources are limited on that aspect of it, so it'll be whatever I can produce halfway decent on my own. Unfortunately, the quality of such things does a lot to draw people in, so we'll see how that goes. I'm just anxious to see the rest of the art. So definitely by the end of October I should have all the art, and as I get each piece I can plug it into the template and have it ready to go, so I can get a final test print before I say yes, let's let everybody have this. So between now and then I'm going to also be working on finalizing the list of playtesters. It will also include a list of the Kickstarter backers and the final text of the rules that will be in a PDF available to print yourself or whatever. Some of the cards have the basics of the rules on them, so you can play the game without having the full rules, but of course it'll make more sense with the full rules until you've actually played a game. And I'm very encouraged about that. And furthermore, I've mentioned that I have ideas for other variations of the game. This morning I woke up with a more solid understanding of an idea for a Western themed version of my game. The working title is Posse. So basically the different players organize a posse, and the posse that has the biggest posse at the end of the game wins, I guess. or not I guess, that would be how that works based on the current game being build the largest army, and the largest army at the end of the game wins. And I've built a spreadsheet to start tracking ideas for the various other rules or genres, and that way I can, as I get ideas for what the different cards would be for that genre, I can put it together. And I basically have an idea for what would be on each card in the Western genre, and so that one I'm looking to put together a playtest deck as soon as I can to have that available, and it will not be beautiful art, but it will be a complete game that should be playable and function basically the same as my current game. And I had an idea for the chthonic variation. One would say Cthulhu, but that's the Lovecraft estate might have objection to that, but chthonic is a term that I can use that I'm drawing a blank on the etymology of that word at the moment, but it means the deep or the dark or something, and it's I want to say either Latin or Greek, but the exact etymology escapes me. But that style of card game, and I had a couple of ideas for that, so as that comes together, and so I've got a spreadsheet, so as I get an idea for whatever genre of game, I can plug in to the column for that variation and have it ready to go. That way, as I get ideas, I can roll out other variations. And so that was a very encouraging occurrence when I woke up this morning. Unfortunately, work was a real pain in the backside, so that kind of sucked away a lot of my energy dealing with problems. I didn't look at my online stuff until after work, so I didn't know till after work that I had almost all the art, which that was all right, because I think he'd sent it just a few minutes before I looked at it anyway. So card game going good, much progress, very positive. It's going to happen. So not quite 10 years I will have it published, and every future variation will be different. Now, one thing I'm thinking of is some people may expect a cardboard box with the cards in it, and that's, I guess, a possibility. But if you're like me, the cardboard box gets beat up and scuffed up and everything, and where are you supposed to keep it so it doesn't get damaged? So why bother with the box, because the box is going to get damaged and torn up, whatever, if you're playing the game. If it's a collector's item, I guess that's different. But drive-through cards have these card boxes that are $1, and they are big enough to hold all the cards in the game. And if you've ever seen me carrying around my card game at conventions, that's the box that I've got it in. So it works great. I think that would work well. So I guess I'm gonna make an actual cardboard box be a stretch goal. I don't know how else to do that, because personally, yeah, that'd be cool, but we'll see. If people want it, it'll happen. If they don't want it or don't mind, or we don't hit the stretch goal, it won't happen. And so all kinds of little things like that are what I'm thinking of. I want to do it in a way that it is as simple as possible to get this up and going, so we have an actual game ready for release November, December, so before the end of the year. And that's basically all I've got about my card game. I see that there's only one viewer right now, and I think that's probably me keeping an eye on the situation. So that's where we are with that. Unless there is somebody else in here. So if you're in there listening to my ramblings, go ahead and ask away with any questions and whatnot. The other thing I was going to get into is picking up where I left off with world building last week. So I'm going to get that out of our way. And this is the map from last week. This is where I roughly placed, based on a dice drop method on my floor, carpeted floor, where the dice didn't spread out too far. I took a picture of that, sized the picture roughly the size of this world map, and placed a circle where the dice were on the overlay, and each circle represents an approximately Greenland-sized territory. So the smaller rectangles you see running north to south and scattered around, those are roughly Greenland-sized dimensions. In the flat projection, Greenland gets skewed in how big it is, but it's quite sizable. And so my idea for a water world, approximately Earth-sized, with the number of, what was it, 20? Yeah, 20 Greenland-sized islands scattered about, and then of course there would be smaller islands, so there would be archipelagos of smaller islands around those, but the main island would be about the size of Greenland, which roughly runs from New York City to Kansas City, Missouri, and is as wide as basically Kalamazoo, Michigan, to the distance of Kansas City, Missouri. So about 650 miles wide, and what did I say, 16 or 17, maybe it was 1,800 miles long. So not small, big enough that you can be in the middle of this landmass and not see the ocean. And that gave me lots of ideas. I took the numbered islands and then decided which of my convention scenarios, the adventures of my scenarios I run at conventions, which island they would be on, so that I could place those. And I see we've got 3 viewers. Welcome, viewers. So that's kind of where I got last week. Hey, Possum, good to have you. So you missed my quick overview of the card game. You don't want to interrupt the train of thought. Oh, not a problem. Well, I can quickly recap. Tonight I got more art for the preliminary design phase art of my card game, and I basically have one set of cards has a similar look but some different color variations, and then there's one piece remaining of the initial design, and so the artist will be finishing those up and then starting on the finals for each piece. So once I get the initial of each card, I'm going to do a test print deck with the design art to have something to show for Kickstarter, which looks like it's going to happen in October. So I'm really excited about that. The final art should all be done easily before the end of the Kickstarter, so I can plug in each piece as I get it into my template, so when I get the last piece I can order a proof deck to make sure everything looks right, and if that's good, then release it to the masses. And if there's a problem, I'll fix it and get another proof deck. So hopefully I don't have to go through too many proof decks to get it right. So that's the big piece of good news. Related piece of good news, I woke up this morning with an idea for a Western variation of my game. I've got another idea for a Western variation that has not gelled, but this one gelled. The working title is Posse. So basically you form posses to go after the bad guys, and the biggest posse at the end of the game wins. And I may mix that up a little bit, but yeah. So yes, a great name for deck building. And along with that idea, I built a spreadsheet so that I can plug in the names, and for the Western variation I'm calling Posse right now, I figured out initially what I think should be on each card. So the plan for that is to make a playtest deck so I can take that to cons and make sure that works well and fits the theme well, and find out anything that maybe needs to change. So, and I had an idea for a I'll call it Chthonic, since Cthulhu's taken. The Lovecraft estate probably won't want to share that title without a lot of money, so not as well developed on that, but I did have a interesting idea for a couple of cards in that, and I made a spreadsheet so the other genres I'm thinking of, as I get ideas, I can put those together. So I've got a real pipeline in the works, and I'm hoping that works really well. And that's the update on the card game. And I was just wrapping up talking about the map. So what's on the screen right now is where I ended up at the end of last stream. I took a world map and roughly placed the lines of latitude for the equator, the Arctic and Antarctic Circle, and the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn, and then the purple rectangles that are the smaller rectangles are roughly the size of one Greenland. When it's over Greenland, it doesn't look like Greenland because the flat map projection skews it, but the dimensions lengthwise of Greenland is about the distance of New York to Kansas City, Missouri. My Mercator is whack, yeah. And the width is about the distance of Kalamazoo to Kansas City, Missouri, so it's, I don't know, like 1,700 miles by 650 miles. Some argue that it's actually like 850 miles, so, but anyway, I kind of randomly placed some of those around there, and then I wrote about this in my blog post last week summarizing this. Yeah, I'm getting to that. So the circles represent placement of islands that would be approximately Greenland-sized islands in an oceanic world. So the Earth map behind that, take that away and replace it with ocean. And I used a die drop method on my carpeted floor of 20 dice and took a picture of that and overlaid the picture, and the red circles are where the dice lay. That's how I got the layout to randomize it. And then the dice that were the same color, if they were close together, I considered them related, whether that's by geography, geology, politics, whatever, they're somehow related. And so that's what the bigger rectangles are around the red circles. And so each Greenland-sized island would be obviously the major in size island that would then have some smaller islands around it, thus being an archipelago. And then there could, of course, be scattered small islands about, so that there's lots of opportunity for exploration and adventure. And then up in the top left, up here, I don't think you can hardly see my pointer. Let me see if I can get that. Yeah, right here. This right here, those are the 10 scenarios for the convention games I've run over the years that are a fantasy-based scenario. And one of them is not written yet, but it's a second sequel to the last convention game I ran, the one I'm planning to run this year. I've got the major outline of that done. Is one option for a sequel to that adventure, but there was a lot of interesting role play and things that happened with that, lots of ideas flowing out of that scenario. And I numbered the islands 1 through 20, and I've got 10 scenarios, including the one that's not written yet. And or is that right? Oh, I left one off the list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it is 10. And I made a notation on my document which island number had which adventure, but it's not on this map. Hey, Hobbs. Good to see you, man. So basically that's the recap that where you came in, Possum. Oh, thanks, man. Did you hear my update on the card game? Game hole? Not this year. I'm not going to make it this year. My card game, I've got the art is happening, and I'm yep, that's the one. So this next GaryCon will be 10 years. So my hope is to have it done before that. My aim is to kickstart it in October, and the art should be done by the time the October's done, with the plan of having the card game done through Drive-Thru RPG, so that delivery and all that's out of my hands. I just put in whatever the code is for everybody to quote unquote have the game covered by their pledge, and then they just worry about shipping. So by easily December it should be fulfilled. Oh, perfect, man. Appreciate it. So how you doing, man? That's good to hear. Yeah, we're hopping now. 3 viewers. It's heating up in here. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people kind of took a break from that. I got pretty quiet on my side. Yeah, I've got some Kickstarters that went radio silent, and others that the simplest little things didn't get shipped, so the hazard is a Kickstarter. So let's see, I gotta look at my list here. See where I put these things. Last Friday was the 5th. Okay, so it would have been the one with, should be this document. Well, lots of notes here. Well, where did I... Oh, it's in that. Alright, just a minute. It's in another document. I gotta figure out where that is. So I'm gonna switch back to the weighting, and I'll... Or do I have another one? Well, let's pretend it's a train, and we'll do a train break. Be right back. Train break. Train. Train break. Break it. Break it for the train. Train break. Okay, sorry about that. It was in the spreadsheet. So let's see, let me make that a little smaller here. That's not smaller. So there's that, and there's that. That makes it a little harder to see here. Let's see. There we go. And now it really is a train.
Train break, go to your breakfast, there's a train. Train break, break it for the train. Train break.
Gee whiz. So we've got double tracks through town, and we happen to have two trains. You can still hear it clacking on the tracks in the distance. So, got my spreadsheet. So I numbered the islands, and that's what the number represents. Then I figured out what climate zone each number's in. So, is it north or south of the equator? So, oh, and there's another frickin' train. Can you guys hear that? It's showing me the microphone looks like it's broadcasting the sound. That's just a really frickin' long train. It sounded like another train came through. I can't believe it didn't honk the horn. My floor is rumbling because I'm across the street from the house next to the train. When they decide to lay on the horn, it gets loud. If we were outside, you couldn't have a conversation because of the noise of the train going by. Sorry about that. I dropped the lid to a soda, so I finished it. I didn't want it the dribbles getting out, so I found the lid. Oh good, glad it wasn't too bad. So notes about the climate zone, and then if they were paired islands, and so like islands 5 and 6 are somehow related. And that's the thing, I haven't figured out what's the relation with the big square around it. So Hobbs, I don't know if you heard, what I did is I took a world map, figured out where the major latitudes are: equator, the tropics, Arctic and Antarctic Circle, and then the purple rectangles are approximately Greenland-sized islands. Oh, you did? Oh, 10 minutes. Okay, cool. And so then I've got those paired, and then my notes, I put the name of which scenario happens where, so they're not all in one place. I suppose they could be, but my concept for my world building here, Hobbs, is a ocean world filled with islands and archipelagos rather than continents. And so my stream is about world building that sort of world and coming up with the tools that will help me build it, and then those tools I can either make as part of whatever supplement this turns into, or make it their own supplement or whatever to help game masters with island building and whatnot. And then I made a to-do list to name the islands that are not yet named, which is most of them, and take note of the basic world building stuff I did in the scenarios. So some of the scenarios, it's not a lot, it's just like, here's what the dungeon looks like, and here's what, there's a town over this way and there's this over that way, or whatever the scenario is. And then of course the fungus among us, yeah. That's the only DCC adventure I've ever done. So it was pretty fun. Got a funny story on that. I play tested it with one of the guys. Sadly, he's no longer with us in my online campaign, and he finally gets to the bad guy, and they're going to fight the bad guy, and I double crit with the bad guy. Aaron? No. No. His name was Patrick. He went by Wicked Ways online. He was about 10 years younger than me. Yeah, I know. Too many people. Yeah, that was end of May in 22 when Patrick passed. And he was the guy that he always had to push the, still like, yeah. And he was the guy that he always pushed the button or did the unexpected thing that kind of sent the whole thing on a tangent. And so definitely missed that. So anyway, and then figure out, yeah, yep, the old guard. Those are good old times. I miss playing with my brothers. Don't get to play with them. That's the hazard of moving 600 miles from the town you grew up in. A little hard to get coordinated. The button pushers, yep. Not a lot of button pushers with my brothers, but we had a lot of good times, that's for sure. So I guess I got figuring out the different things on my to-do list here, and the last three things are campaign related ideas. So figure out where those are. Oh, nice. A half an hour? Yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah, that'd probably be the deal with my brothers and I, because I know they don't hardly play together either. They played a lot with their sons, but my younger brother, the younger of my two brothers, his sons are pretty busy. I don't think they play much at all. I think the last time they all played together was when I ran a game for them. Wow, how long ago was that? 5 years or better. And my other brother, he's the one that was my first dungeon master with Holmes Blue Box Basic. His son just turned 30, but he's written some stuff for Zweihander. Because Dan Fox actually grew up in the town where I grew up. He was a few years behind me in age, and I hadn't. I'd met him when he was in junior high or high school, because he was best friends with my brother's brother-in-law, because they were the same age, because my brother's brother-in-law was quite a bit younger than his sister, and so he's played quite a bit in Dan's campaign, and is working on his own rules variant, so I'm curious to see what he comes up with. So I don't know why I put number one as name the islands not yet named. I always struggle with islands, and I haven't named very many of them. I've got Ogre Island. That's kind of reskinning a place from my home campaign. Players never made it there, but I came up with an idea for a scenario. I've run at a few different conventions set there. That's been a lot of fun. Fire Island and Verdant Isles. Is that just 3 islands I've got named? I guess I've got 3 islands named, so that leaves 17 to name. Well, I don't think I'm going to name all those tonight. Yeah, everybody's got rules. Yeah, I've even kind of been reworking. Well, I got Delving Deeper converted to Markdown format in Obsidian. That's kind of been my latest thing. I got that completed last weekend. Some of the HTML links didn't convert cleanly, so I had to go through and do a lot of search and replace and fix those. I think I got at least most of them anyway. The rest I can fix as I find them. But I want to reorganize things. I like Delving Deeper, but there's a few things that I think need to be together that aren't together, and simple stuff like that. Especially on the monsters, it doesn't make clear in the one-line stat block what the damage is if the damage isn't just a d6. Because some of them, like the bigger creatures is d6 plus 1 or 2d6 or 3d6 or whatever, d6 plus whatever. Makes it a little challenging without that in the stat block. Oh man, Hobbs. Well, it's good to have you in here. This will be recorded. I'm not putting it on YouTube or anything. I don't know how long they last. I've got the recording. I could put them all on YouTube. But you can catch them while they're up here, and I may get around to putting them up online. Probably need to edit these down to something that's not just boring watching me fiddle on the map and type and blather on. But it's good to have you here, man. You have a good one. So Possum, you get your tablet going? Hope all's going well on your side. So, where did I put all of these? 5 and 6. Okay. So that's on 5. Alright. So, how am I gonna note these a little different? Well, let's see. Okay. I'm gonna do this. Oh, that's tiny. Another 12. That's better. No, it's not working. Let's see. That's a little better. Still not quite the right size. There we go. That looks a little better. Okay, and let's save that. Oh, that's on the background. Darn it. Oh well. Okay, and then I want this. So we'll call that one A, and that one's H, and that one's D, and that one's I, that one's E, that one's F, and J. Okay. And I didn't. Oh, and that one's C. Where's B? Oh, I didn't place all of them. Oh, I did. B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh yeah. H, I, J. And there is no K. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Okay. So looks like I've got all of those placed. So then I can place those on the map with, where's that? There we go. Alright, 3, okay. So that'll be A. 4 is going to be H and B, or B and H. Okay. 5 is going to be D. 6 is going to be I. 7. That's going to be E. 8 is F. And 15 16, that's J. 17 and 18, right. J and 18 is G. And the one I've not placed yet. Okay. So now that makes a little bit more sense of what's going on. I've got everything placed. So then I gotta go through and see what names I gave stuff. Okay, that's pardon me. So okay. So what I'm looking at now is Adventure A, or no, Adventure B. So dire druids. Let's see, B should be before H. Let me fix that. Let's see, let me put a space around that so it stands out a bit more. And oh, I did the same thing on this one. There's that. So let's make a new sheet, and we'll have, what do I call it? Scenario. Okay. So I'm looking at my Dire Druids of Delver's Deep scenario, which was my submission to the 2015 one-page dungeon contest, and it was just a no system specified, but delving deeper is what I've run it with. Okay. Second. Wall to Let's do this. Okay. That's a better way to do it. So I'll break this out. Okay, I can bring that back. So I recently cleared out an old file cabinet that I use for work because a whole bunch of stuff I don't need anymore for work I got rid of, and I made room for all my convention scenarios, which is really handy being right next to my personal desk here. And so I'm going to go through and review any specific geography in the adventure that town names, etc., that I would need. And I only ran this adventure once. The X marks the spot. I ran it at the local convention in Kalamazoo called Marmalade Dog. And what year did I run this? Did I even make a note? 2019. Wow. Okay. So, oh, that was February of 2019. Must be that I wrote this down. So, yeah, this would have been a year before COVID hit. Okay. So, did I give a name to anything besides the village? Looks like I only named the village. And my notes to run this is basically one page. So some of these are pretty sparse. So did I have anything? Village. Okay. Real fancy names here at the Village of Roadside. Alright, what do we got here? So did I have anything besides the name of mysterious? Alright, so I don't have name for any of the rest of this. Okay. I just named that. Alright. That's easy enough. Okay, that takes care of that. So let's see, which one is this? Okay. No, really, it's me. It was a stretch goal for Appendix N's. I don't know if it was their last Kickstarter or the one before that. It was the one with all the adventurer stuff in it. It was going to be a stretch goal, and that just didn't quite make it. So I did clean up my adventure, and I was going to make it for OSE, but I did not do that conversion. So what did I call the town? Let's see. And this actually is published up on drive-through. Let's do this. I don't think I've got that one on drive-through. I don't. No, it's not. This one is yes. So is that the only one of these? That may be the only one I got is this one. What did I call town? Oh, this doesn't. Oh, I got loose notes falling out of my notebook. Ugh. What is this? No, I came up with a name during play. Not the player's name locations is pretty fun. What did they come up with for this? What is that? Some scratch notes here. That might be from a game I played at a convention instead of from running this. Oh, what? Oh, this may be more than that. This may be from me running stuff. Oh, wow. This looks like me running stuff. Oh, these are, I think, my notes from when I ran this at Gary's house back in 2019. Okay. That's cool. I thought I had some other notes on this. What did I do with that? Came up with the name for the town. Oh, Slumsville. Okay. Not the most creative name. Thought there was another name. Okay. So that's easy enough. So that one, no named locations. Alright. What's this? Oh, I got a second folder for this. So I've got some notes here. Whoop, got some other pages separated out. Alright. There. I don't want those separated out. There we go. So, what's this one? Alright. Ah, Rescue from Fire Island. Well, there's a lot in this. I kind of went overboard on this one with cards and so forth. Okay, so we've got Isles, Fire Island. So that adventure is kind of the inspiration for a water world with archipelagos. Because I like the idea I came up with in my mind. I built a lot in my mind that I didn't write down for the Verdant Isles, but the Verdant Isles gives a hint by its name that it's a very strong farming food producer. And let's see. Where's the name? I gave a name to that. Oh, what is this one? Where are the rest of these? Okay, so it's still in the... Okay. Hmm. Well, what did I do with my detailed outline for X marks the spot? That's annoying. What did I do with it? Huh. I came up with all this stuff. What did I do with it? Got a pretty detailed outline for that. Gotta figure out where I put it. So that's not written yet. Okay. So let's do this. We want scenarios. Okay, let's do this. I'm not sure why that was after. Okay, A is on 3. B and H is on 4. C is to be determined. Oops. Okay. D is 5. Six. E, F are 7 and 8. G is 18. Okay. 5 is D, 6 is I. That's right, okay. Okay, so then those are going to be J, 15, 16, 17. X marks the spot. Okay. Did not do that. I did not do that. Okay, so it's okay. Cool. Ta-da! Treasure map. Okay. So I don't want to get too far into that. So I located that. Okay. That's pretty cool. It's nice that I keep doing this 2-hour sessions to focus my planning and getting stuff done. I tell you, that works pretty good when you got a deadline and you stick to it. How you doing there, Possum? Hope you're enjoying your sketches there. I look forward to seeing those. I enjoy you sharing your stuff. I've missed that. Let's look at my checklist here. I didn't do that, but I did organize stuff I didn't get organized before. Okay, so two is done. No, I don't want to. There. So what I will do is do that, indicate that's done. So that didn't take very long because I keep it very simple. Basically, start out with a minimum of set dressing and just not a lot of names of things. Maybe the name of the town or the city they're in. And that's about it. So sometimes I go pretty in depth on some things. So I know, oh, Ogre Island, where is that adventure? Wait a minute. That says no named locations. I didn't think I saw Ogre Island in this list. Let me double check. There's wolves, druids, and this one's no relates to me, and this one's no relates to me, and this one's Fire Island. Yeah, I don't think I've got. Yeah, that's that. That's my Boot Hill scenario. It's DCC. So did I not? Hey, what's this? No, that's been worse to south. Huh. Okay. That's on the wrong line because I know there's named locations. I put a lot in Roll20 because I ran that the first virtual GaryCon when GaryCon was canceled shortly after the shutdown due to COVID. So I know I've got that in my Roll20. I know I had a folder like I normally do for that stuff. Maybe it's on my bookshelf where I didn't expect it. So I gotta locate that. So Roll20. Marmalade dog notes. Because I ran it at Marmalade Dog. Did I run it at... Did I only run it at Marmalade Dog and then online GaryCon? I ran it. I think I ran it online for Yukon in 2020 as well. So I know I've got the online, yeah, because I got 2 online Roll20s. I know I've got physical notes from when I ran it at Marmalade Dog. Maybe that's it. I haven't been able to find it because I had a pretty cool map I put together for that and I can't find it. That irritates me so bad. It's just like, where'd it go? So I got to do a deep dive in lots of notes. It might be in with my home campaign stuff, even though I've looked through that. So let's mark that. We'll flag that as to be determined. And center that. And okay. Alrighty then, looks like I've got a good set of notes here, and my X marks the spot is a rough outline that just needs the details filled in because I basically have it planned out. I just got to figure out what all I want to have for encounters and whatnot, and NPCs to make it all work. The framework is done. It's just the details to utilize that framework. So yeah. So I'll be working on that too. As I've already submitted that to Yukon to run a game each morning, and that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because that's only a 3-day con. But I get there Thursday night and hang out with people and catch up. That's one of the best parts of it. So what else? Yeah, size of those. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to format these. Format, number, there. So that's what I'm going to be working on tonight after the stream, at least a little bit. So piece at a time, this is coming together. So Dungeons and Possums, thank you for joining me. I'm curious to see your artistic endeavors for sword timber. The rest of those ought to be real cool. So until next week, may you have lots of fun and interesting adventures. No serious drama of serious note in your personal life. And in spite of all the chaos going on in the world, may your life be safe, fun, and pleasant, and roll on.
Knows how to wield a sword, spellbinding and divine, up on a shield to a wolf, and if you have the time, he's got a mean sales pitch, he even makes it rhyme, and if you need a job, this is his go-to line. Some people wanna die poor, I can't imagine why. They say,